Looking like the business you're starting. It's important. I want to share a small story before I dive into this video. I was talking to a cousin of mine the other day, and one of his vehicles broke down. It's this truck that he was moving around in. So he had to show up in his wife's van to do a estimate for a gentleman. And he said he got out, and the gentleman kind of cocked his head a little bit, and he was honest with him. He said, "I got to be honest with you, man. You jumping out this minivan kind of discouraged me of thinking, can you do this job?" And he was like, "I can do this job." He was like, "Would you like to see my insurance and talk to the people?" So he called the insurance people to check to make sure that my cousin had insurance and everything was good. Then he was telling them how he was going to do the job and broke down, and the guy saying he had knowledge of what he was talking about, and he agreed to do the job for whatever they agreed to the amount, and he left. And he asked the guy before he left. He said, "I must say that I was a little discouraged seeing that you jumped out the minivan." He was like, kind of it kind of caught me off guard. And he was like, my cousin told him something that I thought was funny. He said, "Well, life can be humbling sometimes. And I'm in a humbling situation right now." And the guy said, "You know what? I understand." So sometimes what I have realized, even if you have the skills, even if you have everything that you need to get the job done, but you are not looking the part, America will judge you. And that's on either side. That's white, black, and this was actually a black man who seen him jump out the minivan was like, "Man, this dude jumped out the minivan." And he didn't did it to other white and Asian and other people because we have a quota here in America that a contractor or a company is supposed to look a certain way. And if you're starting out being independent, 9 times out of 10, your company isn't going to look like the majors, those who've been doing it for a long time. You are in the minor leagues. And but one thing that I want to make clear about this story and about why it's so important, because you don't have to be a major to look like you play in the major leagues. All you have to do is wear the same thing that they wear. So you notice how the minor league and the major league, the major difference is the names and the titles. Well, they're not a big company, but a big company might own that small major league brand. But they still go out and they play. They dressed in uniform. They're ready to go. They got their game together. They know how to talk. And I think that's what makes the business more successful because not only can they play the part, but they look the part. Family in America, 2022. If you're starting a business or already got a business in process, and I know you have noticed that if things wasn't right, you might have someone judge you or push off in business, or might lost a contract, or could have got a bigger order in, but they was thinking, well, he or she doing this out of their garage or out of their home, or are they capable? UPS, Apple, just a few small companies. Amazon started in the garage with small space. UPS started with two guys on a bike delivering. They said, "You know what? We're gonna deliver a couple packages in this certain area on a bike, family." Now you see UPS trucks everywhere. Google that. Google that story. And so you can't not hustle or not go after what you really want to do just because you don't look the part. You know what I mean? Because I know that can be discouraging. I'm just saying that the system is going to judge you until you at least look the part. So whatever you're going to do, whatever you're trying to build, whatever you're trying to do in America, you got to look like it. It's almost like they want you to get in the hole or grease certain palms so that way you can say, "Well, I paid my dues over here. It was payola on this side." Just like in the artist thing, you got the payola. You're gonna have to pay certain things to make it happen. You're gonna have to pay for certain radio spins. You gotta pay for certain interviews until people start wanting to interview you. You gotta pay someone to say, "Let me take some time, ask him the question. Maybe he is interesting." But until then, you might have to pay your way. So I just wanted to say this morning that when you're starting your business, you have to look like the business you're starting. And it's important because it's going to keep you from being financially stable. It's going to keep you from getting over the hump and doing the things you actually want to do with your business, because you're going to meet a lot of hurdles. And sometimes now you can look the part, you can have everything intact, but your business in the wrong location, in the wrong area. And they always say that location is grand for a business, because if that one business can move to this location, it could actually prosper. But in where it's trying to thrive and build off at, it's hard for it to get, things off the ground. And I wanted to just say publicly that in order for us to reach the goals that we're going to reach in life, we're going to reach we're going to reach some difficulties at times, some stumbling blocks. But we have to keep in mind what we're doing it for, and are you willing to go that extra mile and fight for it? Because we have to understand, if you're going to be whatever you're trying to do, whatever type of contractor or whatever type of business you're trying to start, you have to look like it. And it's just like me doing independent welding. If I didn't have no type of gear and I didn't have no type of information and I didn't know what I was talking about, it'd be hard for me to say, hey, I can teach you some independence without outside of someone actually seeing me. And with all the videos I have dropped showing me in the field welding, all of that is content and proof that I can actually do it. But I still get people that ask me, can I do it? Now, when people see me pull up in my truck and they see the logos on it and you can tell it's a welding rig, it gets more respect. It's like, oh, that's what he do, because it looks professional. Even though I just spent an arm and a leg on it, family, because it's not about spending a whole lot. It's about knowing what to spin and how to spin it. So you can do a lot with just advertisement, with just promotion, with just making it looks professional in that area. So a few things that I have neglected to do here lately, like I was like, you know what, I need to go on and get this going and this going. And I pushed it off, but I'm seeing that I need to go on and do that because it's just going to help. Sometimes you push things off because you think, well, it ain't going to help at all. I might as well focus this energy on something else, not knowing that everything matters. But sometimes being in a small area, I have noticed I have to network outside of my area. If I was planning for my local community, McGee, Arkansas, to just feed me and people just to network with me and knock on my doors and say, hey, I want to bring my kid over here. He's been troubled. I want you to teach him some independent welding. I want to get him a trade. If I was just focusing on my local community, I don't think it'll happen. Even though they know I'm here and they know I'm willing to help, some people still judge you due to you don't look the part in their eyes. You don't look what they feel like a school should be, without knowing that the information you got is saving them from having to be in debt from going to a school. But sometimes your value can be underestimated. So you have to realize your location means something. You look in the part, and then check this out. As of now, like I'm starting my independent welding classes in my garage. I built it for that purpose. But here soon, as things get to going, I'm gonna have a facility. And once the facility get up, then it's gonna be more people that want to step by because it's a facility. But now, to me, I think it's more personal because I'm giving people more face-to-face, hands-on teaching and applying these things and answering questions face-to-face. I think that you get more when you tutor someone, when you help a student one-on-one. I learned that from growing up. I used to have issues growing up in school, and getting the tutoring from a one-on-one person really helped me grow a lot. So I understand how if you got 40 people in a class, 50 people, it's kind of hard to show attention to everyone unless you know individuals. You going by and you meeting them, you checking them out. You know what I mean? So right now, I think that it's grand that I'm starting the way I'm starting, but I'm starting. But I'm still looking the part. But you have to network outside of the area too. So I just want to say, make sure you look like the business the best way you can. Put a little money behind your promotion, behind your business card, behind your logos, behind your whatever you got going, because your signs, all of that can help you grow your business. I think I missed a message. I want to tune in real quick, make sure I check you out. Paying dues. Yes, sis. Yes, sis. We have to pay our dues. most definitely. And I think the part that we miss out on is not realizing that once you pay your dues, it might not happen overnight. Like what you're trying to do might not just take off and just go off overnight, but it's going to go. But we have to keep in mind why we're doing it. Like all the time when you're building, when you're getting your independence together, when you're focusing on your career, what you want to do with your life, you have to weigh out everything. And once you decide and you say, you know what, this is what I want to do, then you have to be willing to do everything it takes to actually accomplish that. So you can be a minor league. That's small business, as we call us minor league. But we can still look like the major league players if we look like the business we're starting or we look like the business we're operating. And to the point where it looks like the majors. You don't have to have everything they have. And it's crazy that it's almost like you have to deceive people, so to speak, to check out your product first. Not that you're deceiving them, but you kind of have to trick them to look at you for a second because all they normally looking at is what's on the commercial, what they see on TV. And most of the time, the only reason people buy and they buy into gimmicks and things like that because they see it on TV. It's repetitive. It's like pushed in front of them. The brand was pushed so much they thought it was a great brand, but it only had great promotion. It wasn't actually a great brand at all. It just had great promotion behind a brand. You know what I mean? So we have to look at it like that and realize that our business, our independence, all of this is going to be catered around us looking the part. So I wanted to say that because I have been in many situations where I didn't look the part or and it kept me from eating. And it's going to happen, family. So I'm not going to say that it's not going to happen because it's going to happen. It's payday week, ain't it? I heard that. I heard that. Good rising. Good rising. You know, I got my coffee on me. You know what I mean? I'm getting ready. Like I say, I really think it's important, family, that we would look like the business we're trying to start. Even with me doing my independent welding classes, and I just want to state this publicly real quick. My goal is to tailor courses around people's need. Some people work at night, some people work in the day. I want to be able to be flexible for other people's schedule. And then I want to be able to offer classes that's actually affordable, worth you paying for, worth you not going into debt. You know, even if you say, you know what, I'm gonna have to put 2, 3 checks to the side to take care of this, whatever that situation is. But later you can turn around and use that investment. So if you're looking at a course that I have for 8 hours, that's $250, or a course that's 30 hours, that's $750, or a course that's 40 plus hours for $1,000, and you get fabrication, and you get a consultation that goes into that. The consultation is $150, so you get that for free just because you got that major course. Because a lot of people trying to do business, like a lot of people that's learning the trade, they want to jump out in the field and get their hands with, but they also want to be conscious of business because they don't want to do it all the time. There's nothing wrong with playing certain sports, but you're gonna get to a age where you say, you know what, I still learned the game, but I'm gonna just watch it this time. I'm gonna play something else. Maybe you're gonna play something that's a little bit more slower pace. You ain't gotta do a lot of jumping and running, you know, but you still enjoy doing what you're doing. And I think that's all a part about growing up, us knowing business, but knowing that America, the country we are living in, family, we're very judgmental. We're very judgmental due to race, due to class, due to gender, due to status. Like we just judge. We judge people for what they ride in, for where they stay, what area they live in. Oh, they stay over there. Oh, they must be them type of people. You know what I mean? It's just what it is. This is America. And I have learned that every state is like its own individual country. And I want to say that because traveling, I have noticed that different laws exist that if you cross that line, you couldn't do that. But you cross this line, you can do it and then nobody gonna say nothing. Like I have seen both ways. You know, you're like, I can do this? This is legal? You know what I'm saying? But other places, they'll jump on you soon you hit the line. You try that. You have 10 state troopers on you. You know what I mean? So it's crazy how America is built. But it say united we stand and divided we fall. But a lot of times we are divided when it comes to support. And it seems like it'd be tragedy or a dilemma or a crisis or a pandemic that would allow us to unite. And that's just the truth. Allow us to not judge. You know, it seems like Christmas the only time we want to show some some more support for someone else that's doing beneath us or doing under us, or we feel like, well, that's the time of the year I can give or share. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy how we think, how we are Americanized with holidays. Think that we have to support every holiday. Every holiday, I know people. Every holiday, they got to have that on or that color, or this or that. Or they got, it's crazy how we are in America, but it's truth. So in order to do business here, you have to understand the concept. I have noticed, I have seen business owners that literally study philosophy. They study philosophy on how to treat employees, how they react. And you probably already know this. A lot of the owners a lot of these major companies, they study ways to make people shift, to make people do what they want them to do. And sometimes without telling them to do what they want them to do, but it's the way that they shift and do things. They say, man, I got this job, man. They telling me I got to do 2 more extra hours. I had to pick my kid up. What I'm gonna do? Man, I guess you're gonna have to find somebody. Man, I can't. If I get this point, man, it's gonna mess up my perfect record. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy on how they put our backs against the wall for certain things. So I just want to say that looking like the business you want to start will most definitely open up a door. But not only looking like it, family. Let me quote that. You just not want to look like it. You want to actually live the business that you are actually starting. Meaning it's a lifestyle for you. You can talk the language. You understand the concept. You understand what you're doing. You understand how to troubleshoot, fix everything that's in your lane on what you're doing. And I think that is going to make us stand out. Even though majority of people look at the looks first, the people that's going to mess with you and mess with you all the time and give you that longevity money or support is going to appreciate what you're doing. So sometimes after they get over the fact that you might not, you didn't pull up in a brand new Chevy truck. You say your contract, you ain't got a brand new King Ranch, but you pulled up in a Dodge, but it ain't got the commas in it, but it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are so judgmental. And I done heard people say things like, well, why can I pay you to do this and I can go do this? I'm like, well, if that's what you can do, why aren't you doing it? I even had gentlemen ask me, hey man, can I come over there and use your equipment to teach my nephew a little bit so he can get a job? This is what a white gentleman asked me at this place in Dumas. He asked me, could he come over here, use my equipment to teach his nephew? And I was like, you most definitely can't. But I was like, you can pay me 8 hours and I can teach him. You know what I mean? But he was like, what made my brother gonna talk about it? I told him how much, $250. So you tell me you want to teach him, but you want to teach him for free. You want to use my equipment and say that you helped them and get there, but you don't want to invest no money. See, it's people, they know that old story. They say, your treasure is where your heart is also. So if your treasure is wrapped up in your money, or you always feel like you got to get something for nothing, sometimes that mentality can keep you from getting over the hump because you refuse to do what it takes to actually embellish yourself, family. So remember, this year we have to invest in us, whatever that is, whatever you're trying to do, invest in you. If it's like people like, I done had people say, man, I want to travel that far. Let me tell you something. I have traveled an hour and a half just to make $150 and turned around and came back. Where are you going to make an hour, make a certain amount, $150 in an hour and a half, take you 30 minutes and turn around and come back? All you have to do is do a little gas and a little time. You're not going to do that. So sometimes we get petty, man. It takes too much energy. Everything takes energy. I would rather put my energy on something positive than something negative. You know what I mean? So we have to think outside the box, family, be willing to do what it takes. Like, really willing to do what it takes. Like, not just talking about it. Because people will put you to the test. Just like my cousin was put to the test on him not showing up in his rig. And when he pulled back up, he gonna have his truck with the boom lift on to cut the tree down. But his regular state of art vehicle, wasn't available at that time, but he told her, hey, I still got state of art equipment. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes, your work ethics and the equipment and you knowing how to talk about or how to deliver the speech or the message across that you're trying to give with your business is going to be very important. So just keep in mind, you want to look like the business you're trying to start, and you most definitely want to know the business you're trying to start, and you most definitely, without what's understood, don't need to be explained. You need to be the business you're trying to start. So keep all of that in mind, because all of that is going to be important this year to getting your development on, to people networking with you, other people that want to network with you, or companies they watching. People look at your consistency. People look at what you're doing. Are you just talking, or are you being about it? So you can't just talk about it. If that's what you're doing, you won't have to be about it. So my goal is to help in the local areas, but I know, like I say, I'm in a small area, so I'm networking abroad, and the people that's networking with me is actually coming in from outside of my area. Now I'm here and I'm open and I'm willing to help anybody in my area, but right now I haven't received any knock on the door to say, hey, I want to network. Some people say, hey, I want to do it, but they don't want to invest their money. They want me to use my lights and my stuff for free. I can't do that. I have to pay for that. You know what I'm saying? Some people are like, they're like, man, well, what can you get your teach? Why? Why would I teach you how to make millions of dollars for free? And you can't even say, you know what, I'm gonna pay you this on the schedule. You won't even bless me at all. Some people don't understand that in order to get a blessing, you have to be a blessing, family. So, you have to give to receive. And I learned that if you give, like I'm willing to give more than what the cost is. I'm willing to give more than what the value of what I'm giving is. Like I'm giving you something that is more valuable than the money, than the paper that you're giving me. You know what I mean? Like it's more valuable than that, because you can use this information and change a nephew, change a cousin, change a son or daughter, start a business, move, go to a different city, go to a different country. You know what I mean? You can do anything. So just because the message comes by someone that might not look the part, and this goes back to the messenger, because sometimes you can get a great message from someone that might don't look like you think they should look. My camera might not be the best. My value might not be up the loudest. You know what I mean? I might not have a lot of followers and subscribers and views, but the message though. I was always told that the message would not return to you void. So if the message is the truth, it won't return to you void, family. But if it's not, it's gonna fall to the wayside. It's not gonna grow. When the pressures of life tends to hit it, it's not gonna stand up to the pressure of time. It's gonna fall off to the white side. You're gonna be like, man, you can't use that stuff. That stuff ain't gonna really help you when things get hard. But I'm giving you the truth, and I know that when times get hard and when it's time for you to get tested, you're gonna be like, hey, this here passed the test. So I just wanted to say you most definitely got to look like the business. You most definitely need to know about the business and the concept and the philosophy of it, and then you need to live it. You most definitely need to be authentic with it, and you need to be able to be humble. Being humble is only going to open up more doors for your family, no matter how. I always tell the people, I kind of feel like I'm like a hot air balloon. You can blow me up, but I know I got a hole at the bottom. I'm gonna go back down to where my normal size is, because I know who I am. So regardless of people get around you sometimes and pet you on the back and blow you up and try to do certain things just to your head up, because sometimes when you're at a certain level you get a lot of yes men around you, because everybody want to be a part of a great movement. Everybody want to be a part of somebody that's famous, or somebody that's doing something that they thought wasn't going to be able to do it, but now the world is looking at them. It happens like that. And it's going to be people that didn't support me at one time, they're going to want to support me in another level. That happens, family. Sometimes some people just sit back and just watch. And as the momentum goes, they might say, man, I was your first subscriber. Or I was the first person. And you're like, man, I ain't never even seen your face. I seen you one time. They've been watching the whole time, though. Some people do that, family. So don't get discouraged if people just watch you, and some people going to judge you due to what your business look like or what you look like. Continue to do what you're doing. And if it's the truth, and if you believe in it, it will come to pass, family. It will come to pass. But looking like the business you're trying to start, you're going to start, is very, 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 very important. And to me, that's how you're gonna get your hog on, is because not only are you looking like it, you're living it. You know, hustling over grounded obstacles naturally. Hog on family, y'all be blessed and continues to prosper today.